I've been holding on to this one for quite a while, and it's because it's such a big box. It's going to be a long video. There's a lot of stuff in here, and I ordered over 50 titles. I remember that. I don't know if it's like 51 or 52. I don't remember, but at least 50. There's at least 50 movies in here, and we're talking about my Hamilton book order, and it came in this giant box, and it's pretty hefty. I don't remember how much it weighed, but this is a monster box. Now, of course, 50 titles in here, and the reason I pulled the trigger on so many movies is because there was quite a few that I had on my wish list that I wanted to grab from Hamilton Book, but then I just noticed that almost every other title that I was looking at was an Olive Films release, and so then I spent all the time to look at every single movie, and if it was an Olive Films release, I was adding it to the collection because I'm trying to get all of those, and I understand that a lot of those movies are getting put on other labels. Other studios are putting those out, but there was only about 600 Olive Films total, and so I would like to try to collect all of them, no matter whether it gets put on a 4K or some other studio puts it out at a cheaper price. I'm just trying to get them all because, I don't know, it's something I would like to complete, and it's a goal I'm striving for. So a good number of films in here. They might not be interesting to you, but they are Olive Films, and I'm looking forward to them. Let's dive into this box. I don't even remember what's in here. Okay, 100% without a doubt, I can say that it was packaged extremely well. And Hamilton Book always does that. They do an amazing job. But the titles in here, let's see if it says, I don't know. Yeah, 51. There are 51 movies total in here. So yeah, looking forward to checking a lot of these out. So some of them I only picked up just because it was like $2 or $3. The Olive Films, it didn't really matter. I was just trying to grab them all. Some were cheap, some were more on that like $12, $13, $14 price range. But there's some movies in here that I've had on my radar for a little while. But then there's movies that I've heard about and just kind of like a little bit of a blind buy. I was familiar with it enough to pull the trigger. And let's grab this first handful here. We have She-Devil with Mary Blanchard, Jack Kelly, and Albert Decker. Now this is an Olive Films release, and so that's why I grabbed that one, obviously. But it's an old black and white film. Looking forward to diving into that. Then we have this movie. Now, I don't recall what it was about, but it was $3. We're talking about a movie with Julia Roberts, Clive Owen, Duplicity. A cool, sexy caper. And I love caper type movies. Anything to do with con jobs, heist movies, caper movies, I'm totally in. And so Duplicity was the next one I grabbed. Well, not necessarily the next one I added to the cart, but the next one that I pulled out of here. Now we have another Olive Films release, and this was Showdown at Boot Hill starring Charles Bronson. So looking forward to this one as well. And yeah, this is an Olive Films release. And man, glad to have this in the collection. Another one, another blind buy, complete blind buy, but it was an Olive Films release, and it has a great looking cast here. Bill Pullman, Andy McDowell, talking about The End of Violence. Gabriel Byrne is in this one as well. Again, another blind buy, but looking forward to diving into that. Now here's one I was kind of familiar with it. So it was a newer movie. I saw the trailer. I was totally in. And it's called Subservience. It's with Megan Fox. And this is another one that was on the cheaper titles. It was like, I think it was like $4, $5. And this movie, she plays like an AI robot. And she's a servant to whoever owns the robot. And it's kind of one of those things. I don't know if it's like a Chucky style story, but it does seem like she kind of takes control, or she doesn't follow her programming, kind of type movies, maybe a thriller, but looking forward to diving into this one. Now here's one, I only pulled the trigger, it had a little FOMO, it's at Last Chance, and I just hadn't seen it, but it has come recommended to me before, so it was a little bit on my radar, but it was something that, it wasn't high on my list, and then that FOMO of like Last Chance, and they were running out, and it was an old Kino Lorber title, so I don't even think they had this on their website anymore. Maybe they do, but it was, and it wasn't a bad price. I think it was like in the $5 price range. And it's High Heels and Lowlifes, starring Minnie Driver and Mary McCormick. So this one here, again, it was recommended at one point. It was a Kino Lorber title, and the FOMO got me on it. So another one I know nothing about. Looks like a comedy, but yeah, I'm in. Now here's one, based on the movie poster alone is the only reason I picked it up. And it's called Naked Singularity, starring John Boyega, Olivia Coke, and Bill Skarsgård as Green. And yeah, another one, just a complete blind buy. Liked the cast, loved the movie poster, and so that was a no-brainer. And I think this was another one that was like $2 or $3. So again, an easy blind buy, cheaper than a rental. Another Olive Films releases an old black and white title here. It's called Silver City. And so this one stars Edmund O'Brien, Yvonne DiCarlo, and Barry Fitzgerald. This is another one I know nothing about, but it's an old black and white film, and probably a Western or some kind of looking for gold kind of type movie. But really looking forward to diving into this. Another one here, another Olive Films, another black and white one. And this one was filmed in 1950, or it came out in 1950. And, just a nice black and white film here. It's called Try and Get Me, an emotional explosion to blast you out of your seat, starring Frank Lovejoy and Kathleen Ryan. Looking forward to this one as well. Here we go. Here's the one that got me. So this one here, I think these were both about $3, and the first one here was 21 Bridges. So this is a movie that I remember seeing. I enjoyed it for $3, adding it back to the collection. Pretty solid, and the whole point of this was, 21 bridges to close down New York City, and then there's a little bit of a manhunt going on. Really, really looking forward to rewatching this one, because vague memory on this one. It says, not all criminals wear masks. That's a nice, easy $3 pickup there. But this is the one that I've heard about. It came as a recommendation at some point, but it's one that I have to really dive into based on a true story, one man's fight to be heard. And it's Breaking with John Boyega. So it's the second John Boyega film for this haul. And again, it's a movie I know nothing about, but looking forward to diving into this one for sure. And it has a slipcover. I'm not a slipcover person, but yeah, it's pretty solid. And then we have another black and white Olive Films, and this one here is from 1953, and it's called Stranger on the Prowl. Again, another blind buy. Looking forward to diving into this. I do enjoy these old black and white films, especially things from the 50s, but again, going in blind on this one as well. Now here's another modern film, something I completely missed. I'm not even sure when it came out, but you got a great cast. Morgan Freeman, Josh Hutcherson, and it's 57 Seconds. So I bought it. It was $3, I think. This was a $3 pickup with Morgan Freeman. I really don't think you can go wrong on that. So, just another easy blind buy for me. Now this one came as a high recommend a while back, and I finally got to see it. I really enjoyed the film, so when I saw this, I think it was in the $5 price range. I had to pick it up, and it's a Kino Lorber title, A Man, a Woman, and a Bank. And so this was with Donald Sutherland, Brooke Adams, and Paul Marzouski. And it's a heist movie, in a sense, and I'm a sucker for those. I'll always watch one or pick one up, but I did enjoy this one. So this one here for me is a high recommend, but for $5, I think it's a no-brainer. And yeah, looking forward to giving this one a rewatch. Now here's one, another Kino Lorber title that I think it was in the $5 price range, but at the same time, it's a movie that I hadn't seen, but it sounded great to me. You got a great cast. You got Anne Haywood, Fred Astaire, Richard Crenna. And was this kind of a heist movie? Let's see. Co-star thrilling heist comedy with a beautiful on-location cinematography by Kenneth Higgins. So yeah, this one here is called The Midas Run, or Midas Run. And with a great cast, a heist comedy, I'm 100% in. Now here's one. It came highly recommended from a good friend of mine. I just happened to tell him that I was putting this order in. I was adding a bunch of stuff to the cart, and I was going a little overboard, and I clearly did. I clearly went overboard on this order. But he said, add this in. It's 2 movies for one, and you can't go wrong. And so, but he also said, it is what it is. Like, it is what you think it is. And so I blind going into this one, but it's going to be fun, schlocky. You know, oh man, perfect for the spooky season, I guess. But it's called Wolf Cop, and so it's both films. And from what it is, you know, the cop, he is a wolf. He's a cop. I'm in. I'm sold. Good-natured vulgarity, it says on the back. So yeah, I'm in on this. And this one, another one, know nothing about this, but you got Ryan Phillippe, Kate Bosworth, Ving Rhames. It was $3, again, cheaper than a rental, and it's The Locksmith. So, another one that really looking forward to getting into this one. Another couple that were $3, you know, easy pickups, and not all of films, but they were, you know, it sounded interesting enough, and for $3, I just don't think you can go wrong. And this one apparently was something called Walmart Select. So again, I don't know exactly how all this stuff is sourced, but from some interview for the guy that owns Hamilton Book a long time ago I saw on YouTube, it really felt like the vendors come to him with, we got this stuff and we got this stuff, and so it just kind of comes from everywhere. And from what I understand, if some of these bigger box stores, they don't sell out of their stuff, then the vendors come pick some of it back up, and maybe that's how it all works. But this one here with the sticker Walmart Select, just something I really just don't remember, but it is Gut Shot Straight. All debts will be paid. You got Steven Seagal, George Eads, and Vinnie Jones, Stephen Lang. Oh, Stephen Lang's great. So yeah, this one here, again, easy blind buy, $3. I think it's going to be fun. But this one here, I don't have high expectations for this, but I think it's going to be high octane, ridiculous, over the top, shootout, and it's all girl cast, it seems like. It's called Assassination Nation, Mean Girls meets The Purge. And for $3, I had to give it a go. Even if it's a horrible film, I could easily donate this or just pass it along to a friend, because I know a few people that would probably get into something like this, but I was going to give it a try. Now, this one, it came to my attention simply by just, you know, enjoying the last Samara Weaving film and trying to see what else she's done that I might have missed. And this movie came up, Mayhem, and so then I was looking for it, and then I think this is what started the whole entire Hamilton book orders, because I was looking for this movie, Mayhem, and it's just one of those, like, it's like a dark comedy workplace, everybody's killing each other kind of type movies, I guess. I don't know if there's any reason for it, if they change into monsters or zombies or something happens, they just got to kill everybody. I don't know, but from the trailer, it looked to be a blast, and for the $5 that this was, easy pickup. But that's what I think I found, because I was looking for this film. I came across a couple of them. I think it's out of print now for the most part, but Hamilton Book had them on for $5. So pick them up while you can. But this one here, and I don't think it was overly expensive. I found a couple of them on eBay, but Hamilton Book had the best price. So grab this one, and I really do. I think that's what started this entire order, because it was this movie and I had to have it. And yeah, $5 deal, thinking I was saving money, and I went a little overboard. But then this one I found, and I'm trying to commit to not adding DVDs. And I like DVD. I think DVD is a fantastic format, even still. And with all the modern televisions, my 4K downstairs does upconvert the lower picture to give you a good picture. So it's not really that. But if there's a DVD that has a Blu-ray or a 4K, I'm just not going to add it to the collection. And so when I looked, this is one that I haven't seen in, I don't even know how long, but it's Mickey Blue Eyes with Hugh Grant, James Caan, and Jeannie Triplethorne. So this is a movie that I remember watching it, I remember enjoying it. I don't have it in the collection, and when I looked it up, that's all there is this. There's no Blu-ray, there's no 4K, so the DVD only, and I think it was like $2, $3, in that price range. So I had to have it, and really looking forward to diving into this. But yeah, that is pretty much the goal, is if I can find it on DVD and it has a Blu-ray or 4K, I'm just skipping it. But if it doesn't have anything, I'll add it to the collection, easy day. Then we have, let's see, This one here is an older film too. This one came out in 1940, so it's a 1940s black and white film. Another Olive Films here, and something I know nothing about. It was Olive Films. I was adding it anyway, and it stars Martha Scott, William Gargan. Cheers for Miss Bishop. That's one that, again, I do like the older black and white films. Looking forward to diving into this one. And then we have this one. This is something I remember watching the trailer for, but somehow or other I completely missed this movie. I didn't see it in the stores. Like, I don't know what happened, but I do remember the trailer, and when I saw it here at Hamilton Book, I had to add it, and it was it's this old Brittany Murphy film, and it stars Danny Pino, Brittany Murphy, Mike Vogel, and it's called Across the Hall, Your Worst Fears Are Waiting. And I don't remember if this was like some kind of psychological thriller or what was going on, but I remember seeing the trailer. I remember thinking it was interesting, and then for whatever reason, I just never saw this in the stores. So glad to add this and finally find out what it's all about. Let's see, a few more. Let's see. All these ones here are all Olive Films, the reason I added them, and only one of them I've seen. So we have Pressure Point with Sidney Poitier and Bobby Darin. And Peter Falk. So yeah, looking forward to diving into this one. And this one's from 1962. Here's one with Kirk Douglas, Alexis Smith, David Jansen, George Hamilton, Melina Mercuri, Brenda I don't know how to say her name, Vaccaro, and Deborah Raffin as January. So this one is Once Is Not Enough, another Olive Films title. So again, it's something that normally I probably wouldn't have picked up, but because I'm trying to get all these Olive Films, really looking forward to diving into these and just, I guess, getting outside my comfort zone, outside of my wheelhouse, things I am comfortable with, and just, you know, seeing some cinema that maybe I wouldn't have seen if this was just on a video rental store shelf. And this one I have seen. I don't remember loving it, you know, all that much. I think it's a fine movie. I don't remember hating it, but it was something I never added to the collection, and it is The Mod Squad. So you have a great cast here. This one came out in 1999, and yeah, I don't think you go wrong with this one at all. You got Claire Danes. You have let's see, Omar Epps, and who else is in it? Let's see, Josh Brolin's in this one. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that one. Giovanni Ribisi. I don't think you can go wrong with any of the actors in here. So, rewatching this after 30 years or 25 years, 26 years, I guess. I'll be looking forward to that one. Now here's one, Claudette Colbert, Don Amici, Richard Foran. And I've never seen anything with Don Amici when he was younger. And this one is Guest Wife. And it came out in 1945, another old black and white film. Looking forward to diving into this one. Now here's one that I've heard about. There is a sequel. I happen to see the sequel. I think that might also be an Olive Films on Hamilton Book. And then, so I had to seek this one out. And then I found out it was an Olive Film, so it was an easy no-brainer. But this was at the more expensive price for the cheaper titles. And so I think this was like in the $13 price range. And you got Mickey Rourke, Jacqueline Bisset, and it's Wild Orchid. Looking forward to this one. I don't know if it's one of those like erotic type romantic stories. It seems like that's what it is from the front cover, but looking forward to it and finding out what it's all about. But this one came out in 1990, so glad to have a lot more of these 90s movies, stuff I've missed, but I grew up with. Like I had it at the forefront. It was around at that time. I was alive at that time, so you know, it was nice to dive into those. And then we have this one, another Olive Films that came out, and this one came out in 1995, and it's called Flirt, filmed by Hale Hartley, starring Bill Sage, Dwight Ewell, and Miho Nikado. Again, easy blind buy, Olive Films, had to have it, and yeah, looking forward to watching this one as well. Now this is something that I came across by accident. I was actually going to buy this like a while ago, and it was because it was like $10 on Amazon. So it was like $10 on Amazon. It ended up being $5 here. And I had it in my Amazon cart, and then I happened to be over here adding all this stuff in, and I came across it. And I was like, oh, that's an Olive Films. I didn't realize. And it's this movie with Michael Douglas and Kirk Douglas called It Runs in the Family. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember when this came out, the trailers. This one came out in 2003. I remember the trailers of it and the fact that both father and son are in the same movie, and you know, that's been done before. I'm not sure if they've ever done it before, but looking forward to it. Obviously, Kirk Douglas plays the old man of the entire family, and I don't know if this was before his stroke or after his stroke, but I'm still looking forward to watching it. And then here's another one. This is a newer film, but it's also something that was like $2. I think it was like $2.95 for this movie, and it's MDMA. Higher learning can be pure ecstasy, and yeah, again, I don't think what it's about, but it seems like it's a drug movie. And who put this out? Shout Studios put this out a while back. Looking forward to this one as well. I think I'm looking forward to everything that's in here because I ordered it, but you know, it's just a lot of these films like nobody's really talking about, and so I think that's why I'm looking forward to them a little bit more. Other than the few recommendations, but really, like, I just don't hear these movies talked about a ton. We got this one, Fred Williamson in Hammer. He risks death to get out of the mob. Looking forward to this one because this one's been high on my radar for a very long time. I never realized it was an Olive Films, or I would have tried to add it a long time ago, and it came out in 1972. Absolutely love these older Blaxploitation films. I'm just assuming that's what this is, and Fred Williamson was awesome in those films. Here's another Olive Films. I don't know if it's a romantic comedy or what this is. I don't know if it's a chick flick. Virginity, Sex, The Big Cry, and Other Salty Topics. Yeah, it seems like a chick flick, but it came out in 1995. Maybe my wife would get into it, but she doesn't generally like those movies. She's more into some of the action films. But it stars Elizabeth Perkins, Gwyneth Paltrow, John Bon Jovi, Kathleen Turner, and Whoopi Goldberg. So I'm not sure how I feel about this one, but I'll give it a go. It's an Olive Films. I have to have it. Now here's one that I had never heard of. It is an Olive Films, and I don't know if anybody else has ever heard of this one, but it's Hannah Dama, The Origin. I think that maybe I'm saying it incorrect, but it looks like it's a foreign film from 2013. And it says, from the wild imagination of director Sato Hayas, I don't want to butcher his name. He did Splatter and Naked Blood. One of a group of directors known as the Four Devils, who made the mark on softcore pink film genre in the late 80s, comes a twisted tale of revenge and via plant life and terrifying Hannah Dama, The Origin, bullied Japanese schoolgirl, has the ultimate revenge on her teenage tormentors. That sounds interesting enough. Now here's a movie I never thought I would watch. I don't usually like these films, so I've kind of stayed away from it. But it's an older one. This one came out in 1993. I recall it. I remember the movie posters. I remember all my friends liked these types of movies back then. And it's like, I'm pretty sure it's just a spoof comedy is what this is. You got Armand Desante, Sheryl Lynn Fenn, Kate Nelligan, Sean Young. And the movie is Fatal Instinct. And I think it's just dark comedy, spoof comedy. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Sex, murder, and revenge were never this funny. Yeah, so I think it's a spoof on all that stuff. And again, I was never really into those types of films, so I do remember this, but it was one I never thought I'd pick up and find out that it's an Olive Films. I had to add it, so I'll give it a watch. Maybe I'll enjoy it now, especially with, you know, how modern cinema has been, and I've enjoyed a lot of films that I just didn't when I was younger. Now here's one. I had it on VHS. I'm glad to pick this up. I'm not sure how this was packaged, but like it does. I mean, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying that Hamilton book might have did this, but like it seems like it was almost like in a rewrap. So this comes from Shout Select, and I only say that because I've gotten titles sent to me that have been, you know, sold to me as new, but then it was like in this weird shrink wrap, how all the bubbles up here, nothing is lined up correctly, and it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like it's like, you know, a good job for a shrink wrap. So I don't know, it's an interesting one, but Home for the Holidays, I do enjoy the film. Robert Downey Jr., you have, what else in this? Anne Bancroft, Jodie Foster directed the film. Holly Hunter plays Robert Downey Jr.'s sister in this film. And it's a Thanksgiving movie, so glad to have this. I have it on VHS, and I watch it every single year, but getting the upgrade, yeah, that was enjoyable. Let's see, oh, it's a Shout Select, yeah. Now here's one, trying to knock out, you know, some more autumn films and things that, you know, take place during the fall. I mean, autumn, fall makes sense. But this movie here, Richard Gere, Winona Ryder. I absolutely love Winona Ryder, especially from the 90s. And it's a movie I miss somehow. Autumn in New York. And this movie was put out by MVD Visual. So it's an old Fox title, but it's a movie that I completely missed. It seems like a fall movie and stuff that I'm trying to add into the collection here. So looking forward to this, and now that I'm much older, and this looks like a serious romantic kind of movie, maybe it's a comedy, you know, or one of those like lighthearted drama, you know, where they say drama comedy type movies. It seems like that's what it might be, but looking forward to this one as well. Then we have this one, another Olive Films. I'm assuming it's some kind of like lighthearted sex comedy, but it's from 1971, and it says Such Good Friends, and it's a silhouette image of I would assume a naked lady's legs, but you know, that's what the cover is. But yeah, looking forward to it. Let's see. Directs this comedy drama based on the novel by Lewis Gould and adapted by Esther Dale. Let's see. Julie is an intense woman who hides her wild emotions and desires under her conventional facade. Her husband, Richard, checks into a hospital for a simple mole removal, and that goes seriously wrong. The stellar cast includes James Coco, Jennifer O'Neill, Ken Howard, Louise Lesser, Nina Foch, Sam Levine, Doris Roberts, and Burgess Meredith. Oh, that would have sold me in a heartbeat. If they slapped Burgess Meredith's name on the front cover, I would have bought that easy. Olive Films, so I had to have it. Another one, this one's from 1943, a nice old black and white film with James Cagney, and it's called Johnny Come Lately. Another Olive Films that this would have been an easy buy for me. No brainer. James Cagney, this type of genre, like this type of film is really right up my alley. So the last one, probably not. But this one here, 100%. This is something I would have bought no problem. And getting it for $5, that was an easy pickup. Now here's one, stars Eric Portman, June Dupree, and Robert Atkins in The Cardinal. Another Olive Films. This one's from 1936. Another Olive Films here from 1953. Simple black and white film. Let's see. New play is optioned. Insists on he rewrites the script to allow a middle-aged ex-wife, Ginger Rogers, to play the lead role of a 19-year-old. But the role wasn't meant for her, and despite constant changes, Crown's play can't seem to win over critics. So it's a movie about a playwright, and you know, I don't know if it's a comedy, but interesting enough. Great cast, black and white, and from the 50s. These are all things that I do enjoy, and so looking forward to this one. Now, here's a couple here, more Olive Films, but here's one that it was up my alley, and it was something I was highly interested in, and it's Before the Ripper, Fear Had Another Name, and this one stars Bill Nye, Olivia Coke, Douglas Booth, the Limehouse Golem. So this this type of movie, you got some spookiness, Victorian era. It's a period piece. again, these are the types of films that I'm really into, so looking forward to this one. Especially if there's like some kind of gruesome serial killer thing going on. So this is one, it was just high on my list. $5, I had to add it. Here we go. Gary Oldman, Kevin Bacon. Love Gary Oldman. I love Kevin Bacon. I don't think you can go wrong with either of those guys. And especially if Gary Oldman plays a bad guy. Big fan. And so this movie is called Criminal Law. And it came out in 1989. Another huge blind buy. I know nothing about it, but looking forward to diving into it. Another Fred Williamson classic here, Black Caesar. And now this has been put out, I think, a few times on Blu-ray, but the Olive Films, I just had to have it. And yeah, again, another Blaxploitation film. I recall it a little bit, but I have to rewatch this one for sure. Now here's one, another schlocky film. I added, it was cheap enough. I don't know if it was like $3 or $5, but either way, it was cheaper than a rental. And it's one that I've seen this movie poster for a little while, years I think, but it's a movie I've never seen. And it says, you'll believe it when you see it, and it's called Troll Hunter. And there's a giant monstrous troll on the road there. And so this is another one that I'm looking forward to it. I don't think it's it's something spectacular or one of the best films ever, but people that do talk about this film say it's a good one. So, maybe I'll enjoy it. Enormously entertaining, and that's what's written on the back. So, yeah, I'll give this one a shot. Another Olive Films. This one here stars Mickey Rooney, and it's The Big Operator. Another old black and white film. This one's from 1959. A bold departure from his musical comedy roles, Mickey Rooney plays Little Joe Braun, a brash labor union boss who uses strong-arm tactics to evade the federal corruption probe. Two honest factory workers and velvet-voiced Mel Torme find themselves caught in a gang lord's struggle for power. Yep, looking forward to that one for sure. See, this one here stars Eric Roberts, Giancarlo Gianni, Dennis Hopper, Burt Young, called Blood Red. They came to this country to plant their dreams, and now they're prepared to die for them. Let's see, it looks like a period piece, like a nice old Western here from 1989. Yeah, for sure I'm in on this one. Solid. Anything with Dennis Hopper, it's an easy buy for me, but that's the back cover. You can clearly see it's like some kind of period piece. Really, yeah, another one. It just completely flew under my radar. I never heard about this film until I saw it. Happened to just be the Olive Films. Had to add it to the collection, and I think that one is one of my more anticipated ones that I picked up today. Another one here, another Olive Films from 1971. Now this one here is a period piece, and I think it's a foreign title from France, but it's called Blanche. I'm not sure, but this is the movie, and like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a French film set in medieval France. Elderly noble and his much younger bride, a beautiful Blanche. Maybe that's the name of the title. Let's see. Welcome a visiting king and his handsome page, let's see, to their castle, and the motion is set accusations of disloyalty, marital infidelity, turning in what could be a fairy tale into a nightmare. So, yeah, interesting enough. Let's see. Then we have this one. This one was $3, and it's something I wanted to pick up because I completely missed it, but it seems like a dark comedy that would be right up my alley. And this one here, it stars Jesse Eisenberg, Melissa Leo, Tracy Morgan, and it's called Why Stop Now? A funny thing happened on the way to rehab. So they're taking his mother to rehab, and something happens. I don't remember exactly what it was when I was reading it, but yeah, this is one I had to add. Not an Olive Films, but for $3, worth a shot. But this one, the next two are Olive Films, and this one here stars Michael Caine, Jane Fonda. I'll buy any movie Jane Fonda's in, and Michael Caine. So those are easy sells for me on this movie. But you also have Robert Hooks, Faye Dunaway, Burgess Meredith again. Yeah, these are great cast here, and it's called Hurry Sundown. And this movie came out in 1967. Thomas C. Ryan and Horton Foote's epic adaptation of K.B. Gilden's novel about racial prejudice and emotional unrest in the 1940s Georgia. Yeah, I'll check that out. Interesting to, I don't know, Michael Caine's going to have his accent there. Interesting. Going to be in Georgia. And then this one from 1946, another old black and white film. I don't know if I need this one, but it is an olive film, so it stars Ginger Rogers, David Niven, and Burgess Meredith. Apparently, he did a lot of these movies that ended up on Olive Film's roster, I guess. But we have Magnificent Doll. And that was it. That was everything I picked up. Almost all of it was blind buys. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of all of this. If you've seen any of it, anything, you know, opinions on any of these movies. But also what you think about my trying to collect all these olive films. Like, I don't know if a lot of people give me a hard time because, you know, maybe there's going to be films I don't like and why have them. But it's, I don't know, the whole collecting thing, it just kind of got me. But if you enjoyed this haul video, you're not going to want to miss this one right here. With that, remember to watch a movie today, and I'll catch you guys next time.